Hello, I'm Edward of the Triple Triad, and this is my review channel, Swift the Kitsune. Since I have some free time on my hands, I figured that I'd start up my review channel, with my first review being Cave Story. Why? Because I want to. Anyhow, this is my review of Cave Story for the Wii.
Cave Story. So many memorable and hair-pulling memories I've had with you. Cave Story was a game developed by a single guy. One guy. Daisuke Pixel Maya developed Cave Story during his free time over a period of 5 years. Yeesh, now that's some dedication. Cave Story is a game I learned about via the internet and through the reviews of other channels and such, causing me to try the game out. The first thing you'll notice from my footage of Cave Stories, if you've played the game before, is that the main character, quote, that's his name by the way, looks a bit different than normal. Well, that's because this game has alternate costumes, depending on whether you enter in a certain code, or depending on what time of the year it is on your Wii. Since it's Halloween, Quote looks an awful lot like a vampire, what with the black clothes, red eyes, and pale skin. All I'm waiting for now is some fangs. But enough about the costumes, it's time to play the game. You'll start the opening sequence with a man named Kazuma, trying to contact his sister Sue. We'll get to learn more about these two as we progress through the game. We start in a small cave with a recharge station, which will fully restore our health and missiles, something we'll get to later on. A save point, which lets you save your progress, obviously, and a door to exit the room. Keep in mind that the only checkpoints in Cave Story are save points. When you die, you're booted back to the last time you saved, so make sure you do that frequently. After exiting the room and moving to the left after being blocked off from the other path, we'll come across a vital item in the game, a life capsule. Life capsules increase your max health by a range of 3 to 5 HP, and you're going to need these for later in the game. Trust me. Anyhow, continuing further down, avoiding some bats, small rabbit things, and spikes, we'll come across an entrance that bears resemblance to the Cave of Wonders from Disney's Aladdin. Going inside will lead us into a hermit's house, where the hermit is sleeping and his treasure chest is ripe for pilfering. Yoink! Inside the chest is the Polar Star, your first weapon of the game. Huzzah! Time to murder some animals! Anyhow, after making your way back up and blasting the blocks that previously blocked your pathway, we're able to continue with the game. We enter the Mimiga village, where two of the creatures, named Kin and Toriko, are having an argument over Sue, the girl mentioned previously. Kin demands a key from Toriko, who refuses to give him it, and, shortly after, we crash in the middle of the two, giving Toriko the time she needs to escape. After talking to the villagers and fishing this pendant out from the bottom of the lake, Toriko will be waiting at the door. Scream, run, and bowl over Kin on her way out after yet another yelling match. Chase her to the abandoned house and she'll try to attack you, though one good shot of your Polar Star will easily put her down. And after a small talk with her, and looking like we're finally going to figure out who this Sue is, we...
Oh yeah! Oh shit! I guess Balrog, the talking lunchbox here, was practicing his Kool-Aid Man impression for Halloween. Anyhow, he rants for a while before a girl named Misery shows up, the two mistaking Toriko for Sue and taking her before Misery leaves Balrog to fight you. Balrog isn't that much of a challenge, and after enough hits from your Polar Star, he'll skyrocket away for no apparent reason. Anyhow, after exiting the house, we inform the second in command of the village, Jack, that Toriko has been kidnapped, and he goes to inform the first in command, the previously mentioned King, about the incident. Us? We're gonna go rob a grave. After nabbing the key from the graveyard, we can enter the house where Sue is, only she's not here. Examining the computer, we see the last message from Kazuma, stating he might eat a cockroach if he has to. Kinda gross. But we also gain access to the egg corridor, sounding like a part of Dr. Eggman's secret base. Heading here, we see lots of giant eggs, weird-flying mutated creatures, and a white flame will instantly kill you upon contact with it. So, don't touch it. After heading forward a bit, we see a Kamiga taunting some large creature, before getting pummeled and dragged away, with us doing absolutely nothing. God damn it. Anyhow, follow the two long enough and you'll enter an area with a lot of computers and a chest. Opening the chest grants you the missile launcher, or as I like to call it, the boss killer, because that's about the only thing you should ever use this weapon on. Also, another thing to mention is this weapon's leveling up system in the game. As you kill enemies, they will also drop little gold triangles. picking them up will increase your currently equipped weapon's level gauge, and when it fills, the weapon will level up. This causes weapons like the Polar Star to go from a dinky-like laser to a huge cannon-like shot at level 3, the max level. Anyhow, after getting the key from the 6th egg and using it on the terminal in the 1st, which I don't know why it's there, we can head past the red wavy force field. Here we'll encounter the monster from earlier again, who talks about defending eggs before attacking us. Just unload missiles into him and then finish him with the Polar Star and he's gone. However, when defeated, he transforms into a Mimiga. Something strange is going on here. Entering the door near us will reveal that the Mika from before is in fact Sue, the girl who is apparently Kazuma's sister. She talks about using a flying dragon to escape the island before being blocked from hatching said dragon by a password, and leaving shortly afterwards. However, by the time you return, Sue's been taken by King and Jack and placed up in the cage at the top of the village, where they plan to give her to the doctor in exchange for Toroko. The doctor is the main villain in the game, a madman who will stop at nothing to find Sue, for some odd reason, and would kill Mimigas when they wouldn't give Sue to him. Sue asks you to go find her brother in the bushlands, which you head off to shortly afterwards. The first thing you find in the bushlands is a Mimiga named Santa, who dropped the key to his house while fleeing from monsters. After retrieving his key for him, he'll reward you with the fireball weapon, which is great against grounded enemies, especially when maxed out. After traversing past the creatures of this area, now the bats and giant rabbits, I guess, we'll arrive at Chaco's house, where we're unable to pass through her fireplace to get to the other side because of some flames. Why is the only way to the other area of this place through a fucking fireplace? Anyhow, she tells you that you need some jellyfish juice to put out the flames. So backtrack through the area, now filled with jellyfish, and you'll find... Oh shit! Oh. It just bounces there. Okay. After using the jellyfish juice to proceed, you'll then meet Kazuma, who asks you to open the door with a key he found. When that doesn't work, you'll need to find another way to break the door down. Luckily, after opening this door with the key and fighting Balrog for a second time, this robot tells you that he specializes in making bombs, which is what you're going to do. However, when you find the gun base, one of the 3 components of the bomb, Misery appears to hamper your progress, transforming Balrog into a giant frog, in which you have to battle. Wow. After whooping his ass for the 3rd time, Balrog retreats, and you head back to the robot so he can craft the bomb, and you blow open the door. After doing so, someone named Professor Booster appears. Kazuma, knowing the man somehow, greets him, and the two head off out the door, the professor giving quote, a weird look. Anyhow, head out the door and the two will take off on an uncontrollable motorbike. Backtrack to the beginning of this area and back to the lab, where you'll find Kin and Sue, the latter having explained to the former where the doctor's evil intentions are. The professor then explains that quote is a recon robot, sent to this island during the war. The group asks you to travel to the Sand Zone to destroy the red flower seeds, which enrage Mimiga and cause them to mutate, like the one we fought earlier, and he hopes to use them for war. Before we do that, however, picking up more jellyfish juice on the way back and using it on the fireplace in the main hall will grant you the bubble line, a weapon that is absolutely pathetic at level 1, but pretty useful for taking out large crowds at level 3. Upon entering the Sand Zone, we'll encounter a girl who will instantly run off, with us giving chase. Climbing this large vertical shaft and entering the door on the left, and we'll find this girl again, saying how she knows what you're there to do, and it's not the Mimiga's fault, before her and her Mimiga will attack you. After defeating the group, you can choose to spare them or not. Personally, I've always spared them, though it's kind of dark if you think of the alternative. Anyhow, this is where you can get one of 3 alternative weapons to your Polar Star, the machine gun. Train with your weapon with Curly is the name of the girl you fought. The machine gun is a rapid-fire weapon that needs to recharge its ammo after enough is used. At level 3, it works as a semi-powerful jetpack, shooting downward in midair, giving you limited flight until your ammo runs out. The main enemies in this area are giant sun creatures that split into smaller copies when destroyed, sand crocs that emerge when you touch the sand, skulls that chase after you and try to chomp you, and small hummingbirds that try to peck you. And sometimes they hold up skulls so that they can shoot bones at you. Oh, and a weird bone-throwing skeleton that jumps up and down and throws bones at you. After traversing the end of the Sand Zone and chatting with Misery, you end up battling a large monster known as Omega. Defeating this creature will open up the sunstones blocking your path before and allow you to progress. Head down here and you'll meet Jenka, a woman who's lost her dogs, and it's your job to find them. Bringing her the first dog will trigger a cutscene with Balrog, the giant lunchbox, asking for the key to the warehouse with the red flower seeds. Jenka says she knows of no such key. Balrog then gives a threat before taking off. It's also here where we figure out that Misery is Jenka's daughter, and that supposedly Jenka is Balrog's aunt, Balrog calling her Auntie when he first arrives. After retrieving Jenka's 5 dogs, Balrog will steal the key to the warehouse and head there to collect the red flowers. Giving chase, you arrive just as Toriko is forced to eat a red flower, and King is mortally wounded. The doctor will taunt you before leaving, and after you're forced to kill an enraged Toriko, King tells you his final request, to avenge him, before giving you the blade. The blade is a badass weapon that, when maxed out, literally has you throwing the spirit of King at your foes, hacking them to bits. Taste afterlife, cretins! Anyhow, heading out of the warehouse will get you squished by Balrog. Afterwards, Misery sending you and him to the labyrinth. The labyrinth is an extremely annoying area, especially if you didn't pick up the machine gun. In here you'll encounter flying purple versions of the rabbits you fought earlier, only these ones shoot projectiles at you, and weird beetle men that charge you, and they also sometimes shoot at you. After making your way up a long vertical climb, opening a door and working your way through the labyrinth, you'll encounter the labyrinth shop. You can trade the Polar Star and the Fireball for the Snake here, which is pretty much a faster and more powerful version of the Fireball that can also pass through walls. Continue on through the area, you'll find Curly in a small clinic-like area, where the doctor there asks you to go to another nearby clinic and retrieve some medicine for them. Going to the clinic and grabbing the cure-all from the chest will trigger a boss fight with a ghost-looking version of Balrog. After defeating him and heading back to the clinic, you'll heal Curly and be able to continue on with the area. Heading forward, you'll battle a large machine that scrolls back and forth, trying to run you over and shoot what looks like tadpoles at you. After destroying the green padlocks on it and unloading enough missiles or lasers into its face, you'll destroy it, revealing that it was some sort of cat? What the fuck? Anyhow, continuing ahead, you'll see Professor Booster falling down into a pit. Do not follow him. Well, correction being that if you want the best ending of the game, do not follow him. Cave Story has multiple endings, and the best one requires you to ignore the professor here. If you didn't bring the machine gun, this jump is a bitch to make. But after enough attempts, you'll continue on with Curly to find a giant boulder, blocking your progression. After Balrog drops in, and you whoop his ass for the 4th time, he'll move the boulder for you, allowing you to progress. The next part of the labyrinth involves large fan-looking creatures that shoot circles at you. After enough progression, you'll eventually come across an area with a large amount of blast doors, which will lead to a chamber. Heading to the bottom right will allow you to score the tow rope, an item that will only appear if you left Professor Booster alone back at the labyrinth. I'm not entirely sure why, but whatever, you need this thing. You then talk to a malfunctioning robot soldier before it explodes, and you have to fight a large floating orb monster. And this boss can burn in hell! I hate this fucker! If it isn't the massive amounts of attacks he throws at you, or this fucking glowing orb that deals way too much damage, it's the water itself! If you stay on the bottom floor to avoid his attacks, you will drown! You won't have enough air to survive before the water comes back down, and you'll be instantly killed! But after defeating the creature, you'll learn from Misery, who appears after the fight, that it is the heart of the island and the only thing keeping it afloat. Wait, we're on a floating island? Whoops. Misery and the doctor take the core back to their lair and flood the room with water, causing Quote to fall unconscious. Shortly after, however, you regain consciousness with Curly out cold right next to you, as she gave you her air bubble? I don't know. Anyhow, using the tow rope to bring her with you, we work our way past a bunch of spikes, bats, rabbit creatures, and jellyfish to a small rundown cabin. Here, we learn how to drain water from a flooded robot, and we do so for Curly. Psst, she's a robot too! Saving her life in the process. She wakes up and speaks to us shortly, only to pass out again shortly afterwards. Taking Curly with us, we continue through the underwater tunnels, eventually getting ambushed by some metal shark and its blowfish friends. After killing the shark, we lose Curly in the water as we wake up outside of the Mimiga Village fishing pond, with all of the Mimiga having been taken away by the doctor. Heading back to the house, we'll find Professor Booster perfectly fucking fine. Oh, fart. Anyhow, he'll give us the Booster 2.0, a much better booster than the one he'd give you if you talked to him back at the labyrinth, which will also cause him to die, by the way, before asking us to take Sue and escape from the island. But before we do that, we should head back to the first area of the game, where giving the Polar Star back to the hermit we stole it from will not only earn us a long-ass rant, but the most powerful weapon in the game, the Spur. But seriously, this weapon is badass. It defaultly fires full power Polar Star shots, never levels down, and its power increases as you charge it up by holding the fire button, eventually becoming a big ass laser. Anyhow, after that we head back into the A corridor, which we find in complete ruins, the white flame now gone and replaced with failed zombie dragon hatchlings. There's also a time bomb enemy that appears once here and never again. I wonder why. Anyhow, after shooting through enough of the enemies and navigating the possible instant deaths of Cthulhu's abode, we reach the terminal room from before. Grabbing the missile expansion here will trigger a boss fight with 2 dragons, who will rotate around you and shoot fireballs at you, which can be extinguished with your weapons. After defeating the 2, you can continue to progress, eventually reaching the spot where you fought the first enraged Mimiga from before. After examining the computer in this room, Kazuma will appear. He'll explain that the doctors are preparing to invade the surface using an army of enraged Mimigas and that all is lost. He asks you if you want to escape the island with them using the flying dragon mentioned before. Choosing yes here will grant you the bad ending, which no will let you continue with the game if prior you that you saved before. After leaving Kazuma there, who says he'll wait as long as he can, we head to the outer wall. It's here where we can engage a little side quest to obtain the Nemesis. But I didn't do that. Oh, I also didn't get the whimsical star, so no stars or Nemesis. I guess Resident Evil 3 is gonna have to wait. After climbing the wall while avoiding these little jumpy bastards and giant cat ghosts that shoot sperm at you, we speak to a cowardly Mimiga named Ito. He tells us that he used to be a human and was given the appearance of a Mimiga by the doctor. After leaving them there, we enter the plantation. It's here that we find Curly, was saved by some dude in a frog suit, and we learn that she's lost her memory. The guy says that there's a mushroom in the Mimiga village that might cause her to regain her memory, so before we do anything, we need to go get that. Using the teleporter in the second prison, don't use the one in the room with the orange fighter yet. We'll return to the bushlands, in the house that Kazuma was at the beginning of the game. After backtracking through here and back to the Mimiga village, head to the graveyard, specifically that door that we couldn't reach before by using the booster. In here, we'll find a talking mushroom, who will give you a mushroom badge. After examining it, we find that it's completely worthless. Talk to the mushroom again, and he'll show panic when he figures out that you plan to feed him to Curly. A natural reaction, since that'd be death for him, obviously. He tells you that he won't go without a fight, causing you to have to fight him. The mushroom. Wow. After doing the obvious and defeating him, you take it back to Curly and literally stuff him in her mouth, as this description so kindly tells us. She regains her memory and tells you your name, being quote, and your mission actually being to destroy the power of the Demon Crown, which is the source of the Doctor's current power, her mission being the same. She gives you the Iron Bond, which after being examined, states that it's your connection to Curly Brace, the only person you trust, and that you will see her again. Head to the teleportation room with the orange thug and try to use it, only getting knocked out in the process and thrown into the first prison. After waking up, the Mimiga they will tell you that Sue tried to wake you up, but was recently taken away. He then tells you that she left a letter in your pocket, which after reading, states that Sue was transformed into a Mimiga after she came here with her brother, mother, the professor, Ito, and the doctor himself. The doctor only forced himself into the group so he could obtain the power of the Demon Crown, which he did, and forced them to learn about the red flowers for him. The letter also states the password you'll need for a certain room that Sue's mother is hiding in. After escaping the cell via a small vertical climb, we can head through that door and meet Sue's mom, Momoen Sakamoto. She explains that she's building a rocket to reach the doctor and borrows your booster 2.0 before giving you Mimiga Mask, telling you to go and find a sprinkler for her so she can use the battery to power the rocket. Oh, by the way, I love how the mask is a pumpkin if the game is played during October, another little Halloween special. After obtaining a battery, she'll ask you to find Ito, and when we head back to him, he'll give us the controller, which is what Momoen needs. Head back and give her the controller, and she'll tell you to take a nap in the bed below. After you wake up and exit the room, you'll find Momoen and Ito waiting for you by the completed rocket. Momoen will return your booster 2.0, which will need to re-equip for it to work before you board the rocket and head up to face the doctor. Heading through the door to the right will be different depending on which ending you are going for. The normal ending will grant you the plain last cave. However, if you have the Iron Bond item, you'll enter the last cave hidden. An extremely difficult area with plenty of enemies, lava, and spikes. Lots of spikes. Near the end of this place is the Red Ogre, a beefed up version of the orange ones from before, and after defeating him you'll get the Medal of the Red Ogre, the final piece to be able to trigger the possibility of the best ending. Heading forward will lead you to a few more enemies, some spikes, lava, and bullshit instant kill crushers. For your sanity, please don't die here, as it's unbelievably painful. Crushers tend to be that way. Heading out here will lead you to the balcony, signaling that you're near the end of the game. Rest in the cabin halfway through this area, then blast your way through some enraged Mimigas. Hey, it's the boss from much earlier. Aw, now he's just a pathetic normal enemy. Bye-bye. Anyhow, after heading into the next room, we encounter Misery, who will finally battle head-to-head. She'll shoot a dozen or so small black orbs at you in quick succession, send orbs at you that'll shoot lightning when you pass under them, materialize blocks above your head, defend yourself with black circles, and send little demons to blow you up. But after all we've been through, this bitch is nothing. Climb upwards after you defeat her, and you'll come face to face with the Doctor, who not only has Mimiga in cages, but has also harnessed the energy of the red flowers into the red crystal, which could be used on humans. He uses it to amplify his power before facing you. He'll shoot 2 red orbs that move up and down as they move towards you at a horizontal pace, teleport, and appear in midair to fire red circles in all directions that bounce off walls, only disappearing when he triggers his next attack. After defeating him, he'll lose control of the red crystal, mutating him into a Hulk before he attacks you again. He'll still teleport, but now he'll try to charge you and shoot dozens of bats at you, which will fly around the arena afterwards, still trying to hit you. Taking him out will cause him to dissolve completely. Yeah! Burn in hell, you bastard! Head further up and you'll find the chords of the island, but before you can do anything, Misery reappears and threatens Sue's life, telling you to leave if you want to ensure her safety. Shortly after, however, the Doctor reappears as a bunch of red dots. Don't you ever stay dead, you piece of shit? Or pieces of shit, I should say. He mutates Misery and Sue before merging with the core, and the 3 of you all attack you at once. Misery will summon either bats or critters, the real name of those little bunnies, to attack you, depending on your location. Sue will jump at you and then spin like Blanca and try to run into you, and the undead core will do one of the following, depending on its appearance. If its eyes are showing, it'll fire slow-moving orbs on the floor and ceiling. If its teeth are visible, it shoots projectiles through various points in the air. And if its mouth is showing, it will do both at the same time while firing those damn giant orbs the previous core fight had. Only now it'll shoot 3 in rapid succession. But after defeating them, Misery and Sue will revert back to normal, though you won't see Misery again, as you and Sue turn to run, heading to escape the island. However, on your way back to the helicopter that Momorin, Aito, and Professor Booster have prepared, you'll notice that the shack from before is open. If you want the normal ending, head back to the helicopter. But if you wish for the best ending of the game, you need to enter the shack. Save here and drop through the floor into the final area of the game, the Bloodstained Sanctuary. And this place is fucking hard! There's plenty of spikes, instant death and otherwise, falling bricks, stupid angels, and 5 bosses. All in a row with no save points. That means if you die at any fucking point, the worst being at the very end, you have to do the entire area all over again. If that didn't paint a good enough picture of how hard this place is, cue the death reel! deaths. And there you have it. We also get backstory to a man named Balos, who apparently went crazy after being tortured by a jealous king that destroyed everything dear to him in his rage. You'll encounter him at the very end of this place, and he's a nasty motherfucker, with 4 forms to boot. Best of luck to you when facing him. But after defeating him, the walls will start to close in on you, threatening to smush you and Curly, who you picked up at the entrance of the area, before surprisingly, Balrog drops down and saves you two. He explains that Misery asked him to, since defeating Balos freed them of the curse of being forced to take orders from the wielder of the Demon Crown. Curly states that she wants to live somewhere quiet and beautiful. Balrog then asking if he can come along with. Curly says he can, and the 3 of you go to find a quiet place to live, and that concludes Cave Story. Overall, I really like this game. The diversity of the weapons you can wield, combined with the personalities of the characters and the game's overall plot, always brings me back to play more. The only part I can really complain about is the process of getting the best ending, being extremely painful to do so. But other than that, the game is great to me. I'll give it a 9 out of 10. A great game, but the best ending difficulty spike bothers me quite the bit. Well, anyhow, that's all for my Cave Story review. So with that, I'm Edward. I hope you have a great night. Thank you for watching, and take care. Adios.